This is Frank Klesitz, the CEO of Viral Marketing, and welcome to a real estate agent client interview. You're going to learn how one of our great clients, Kevin McCarthy, he gets 75% of his business from his database. That's from his sphere of influence. It's from his past clients in Austin, Texas. He's been selling real estate. Let me introduce you here, Kevin. You've been selling real estate since 2006. First few years, you were investment real estate. And since 2006, you sold a lot of houses, man. 500 houses.
Yeah.
That you've been involved in. Sold 30 homes last year. Average price point about $250,000. 11 million in volume.
Yep.
And pretty much on the same track to sell a little more, about the same this year. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah, about the same.
Cool. What's really great about Kevin is he really came from a very hardcore internet marketing background and really transitioned to a referral. So if you're kind of caught up in a lot of internet leads and chasing strangers and really just kind of hate that method of doing business, we're going to talk about that transition today to really start kind of reconnecting with your database and how to start publishing videos, to start, working with people who actually want to hear from you and enjoy working with you, which are some of the key takeaways. Because you were a trainer for internet marketing for a little while, right, Kevin?
Yep.
What were some of the things that you trained in the internet marketing world?
Well, it was not necessarily the internet marketing world. What my background was how to convert internet leads.
Got it.
That were generated by the broker.
Got it.
So that's what I did. Was I trained other agents how to communicate, get them from one phase, from lead to communication to out in the car to offer to close.
Cool.
Yeah.
So about last year, made about $300,000 in gross commission income, which is fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
And you're on this call with us to learn how to do it better. So you're going to probably sitting in on a little coaching session with Kevin here because he has a lot of ideas he wrote for me in the write-up today about we're going to talk about how to improve his marketing. And if you're watching this, couple call to actions here real quick. If you're watching this, you want to understand the marketing plan that Kevin is following to get results, to get business from his database. Go to getviral.com. It's the homepage of our website. You can download the official video marketing plan that we recommend. And the official video marketing plan, I wrote it. It's about 20 pages about how to reconnect with your database, how to grow it with homeowners and people who may want to sell their home if you're in real estate, how to communicate with it by publishing video, and then how to follow up. This is really cool. How to follow up with the people watching the videos, because you can prioritize your follow-up by people who's engaging with the content, which is so incredibly powerful. So if you need a database marketing strategy and you want to leverage the biggest asset you have, pay attention today. You can complement your internet lead generation in many ways. It could possibly replace it. If you don't like working with strangers all the time, this might be a good strategy for you. Also, up on our website, we have actually created a blog post. So if you go to getviral.com and you click blog, you may already be on there watching this. But we took screenshots and we posted examples of all your stuff, Kevin. So some of your videos and your blog and your articles, it's all there for the world to see.
Yeah.
Good. So you go check out all this stuff. All right. It's right there on the website. So, Kevin, my first question is, let's just start this interview about when you first heard about viral marketing. Let me ask you how you heard about us and when your eyes opened to the fact that maybe you need a better way to communicate with your database. And let's start the story there. So tell me about when you realized you needed to do a better job of communicating with your past clients, centers of influence, and people that you know.
I was looking for something. So it wasn't a marketing piece that came to me or anything like that. I was actually looking for something like viral marketing, but I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. So I started, just searching around for things and ran across a few videos that other agents had done. Started looking at the sources of those videos, or who the companies were that did the editing and stuff like that and put it together, because I tried doing the editing on the Mac and I did several videos myself. I was doing some videos already myself, but it was very time consuming and it was difficult to make it look good.
Mhm.
Or, I'd set it aside and it'd be 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks later on. Oh, well, I didn't get to that one. Try to do another one. It was a mess of trying to get it done. So I realized that I needed somebody else I just wanted to pass the buck and say, hey, look, this is what I want. Do it. Right.
So you were doing communicating more. So how were you sold on the idea that it might be a job to increase, it might be beneficial to your business to increase communication with your relationships? Because most people, the thought of building a database and communicate, they'll do anything. They don't do anything at all. They haven't kept the database. They haven't communicated with it. But you intrinsically knew that. How did you know how to build a database and communicate with it to start off with before you even knew we existed?
Well, I mean, I guess that goes back to where I came from back in the day, from the dry cleaning industry. And my family owned a boutique dry cleaners in West Austin. And all of our clientele were regular. I mean, Austin's elite, West Austin people, just, the mayors, everybody for 50 years that from the time my grandfather started it. And so I saw that how important it was to have a relationship with the customers. And we didn't advertise at all. I mean, the people that came through the door, they said, hey, so-and-so said that we should bring our stuff over here. I had this, this person ruined my shirt and whatever. And so I kind of grew up in that. So I understood when I was in real estate, when I got into real estate and people started asking me to help them out, that I knew that I needed to grow it that way. That I needed to have a database and people that talked about me and that I had great relationships with. At the time, I didn't have anyone in my database, barely any. And most of those people, the West Austin high-end echelon folks, I was just, I was little Kevin McCarthy that worked there with my dad at the dry cleaners. It was like, I got into real estate. They weren't having anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Not until later. It wasn't until later on in my career when people started to take notice and they're like, whoa, that's Kevin McCarthy that, was at the dry cleaners. And now, so then I became, I had to earn it to get to that point. And that's what internet leads really did for me, was producing the kind of results that got me to the point to where other people started to take notice.
Got it.
And then I had to really show my expertise by doing video.
Well, let's talk about that. So I get a little reverb. Can you turn your speakers down a little bit, Kevin? Because I'm getting reverb. So just turn your speakers all the way down and bring them up just loud enough so you can just enough hear me, okay? So my question is, without viral, you realize that you need to get yourself on video and start like demonstrating expertise. Like that puts you, in my extremely strong opinion, like in the top 1% of people that you knew you needed to like get on video and start publishing like custom educational content. I mean, that's a huge jump. I mean, did you start with some canned content or some canned drips? Like, did you work your way up to the idea of getting yourself on video to communicate with your database? Or did you just like start off like, that's the way I want to do it?
I just did. I had no idea what I was doing, but I'm one of those people that will jump in and say, I'm going to do this. Even if it's not perfect, I'm going to figure it out. And I had my assistant shoot videos with the iPhone of me.
Well, let me get this straight. I'll be very clear.
Through a house or walking through. When I started walking through, I really realized that people were paying attention to me on one video that I did where I walked through a foreclosure that smelled so bad I thought I was going to throw up in there.
I saw that one.
I started gagging, and it was really, really, really bad. And I posted it on Facebook, got a bunch of comments, and I was at I think it was a Halloween party. So it was so many years ago on Halloween, around Halloween. And and I had like 3 people come up to me and say, hey, and ask me, hey, where was that house at that smelled so bad. And I realized, I was like, even though somebody might not say anything, they're paying attention to me when I do these videos. And eventually they might reach out because I'm there in front of them because they were paying attention.
How did you get over the fear? You know, so many people watching this are like, they're scared to death of like using a video camera. And it seems like you just naturally, without even thinking of it, just like turn on a camera and started recording and making videos. And then you started like editing them yourself. Is there any insight to that? Or that was just very easy for you? Or did you have to overcome any internal like limiting beliefs or struggles or issues to say that's what I needed to do?
There is. I totally had to overcome that stuff.
So tell me about that. Tell me about some of the mental issues, like issues you had to overcome in order to be able to get to putting yourself on camera. Because you did it without any coaching and any help. You just did it yourself.
It's the same sort of limiting belief. If you record yourself on you're on your voicemail and you listen to it, it never sounds good, right? It's I don't know, for some reason, even now listening to myself in a video, I'm like, man, the sound of my voice, and maybe it's just because you hear your own voice and it doesn't quite stick in your brain. It's odd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to kind of get over it, just like leaving a voice. I'm like, somebody else, let me see what somebody else thinks about it. So shooting video and then having somebody else look at it. And I tried it with my wife, and she really did. She likes to remain separated from whatever I'm doing. But she was like, "Oh, that's really good. You know what you're talking about."
Yeah, you had a much more critical eye than necessary on your stuff. And I also want to point out that you actually watched your own videos.
Yeah.
Some people will create a video like, I don't want to watch it, I'm scared, and the sun's out. But you actually wanted to look at it to figure out how to make it better, so much that you were doing your own editing to make it better.
Yeah.
Where did that drive come from to actually do a good job at that?
I have no idea. I just wanted to do it.
I'm telling you, it's rare for someone that coaches people on videos. So kudos to you on that, man. Anyways, I wanted to kind of ask some questions so people can get an idea of like, that's what you did right away. And then you found us, and you're like, this just takes too much time. And then you pretty much hit the jackpot with what our firm does. Right?
But it was exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It took me a little bit to get over the pricing, I was
once you look at it in terms of what it would cost to hire you as an employee,
I was like, Lee, man, do I want it, But then when I started breaking it down and I started pricing out if I just had one person do a video edit for me, and I'm getting 2 of those a month anyway, plus all the other stuff, it makes sense to
cool.
me. So
I appreciate that.
And I can get one of my lender partners to pay for half of it. So
yeah, absolutely. And we have for those of you watching, if you're interested in getting sponsors for your blog to help offset the cost, if not even make a profit, by getting people that are not on the hub statement, so they're not subject to RESPA laws, let us know. We have a whole sponsorship agreement that we can send you. And if you remind me, Kevin, I'll send you a copy of the sponsorship agreement.
Okay.
It's like a boilerplate template that you could use to raise money. Actually, it's on my website, episode 28, on the homepage. So anyways, so you hired us, and you needed a way to consistently get these videos out, get the communication out to your database. Will you tell us what did you do initially? And you may not have done it with us because you've been doing this already, but did you first reconnect with your database? Like, did we round up your Facebook friends, LinkedIn connections, Google contacts, CRM contacts? Do we round all those people up and upload them? And then did we send like a reconnect message out? Did you get results from us? Tell us about that experience, because that's the first step anyone needs to follow who's watching this to get more business from databases. They probably haven't been doing a good job. They're probably all over the place. We got to bring it all together, deduplicate it, and reconnect with it. Tell us about what happened when we did that with you.
I didn't necessarily have to do a reconnect message.
Yeah, because you were doing it.
Because the database I was already pretty connected with them to begin with. So they were already used to getting stuff from me on a regular basis. And so it just kind of transitioned over to getting it all in one place on a consistent basis.
Got it. So we did that. We reconnected. Now let's go a little bit deeper into some tips for the audience. So what do you do to build your database? How do you add people into it? Let's talk about the mindset. Let's talk about the philosophy. Let's talk about the tactics. How do you get permission from people who will refer you or buy or sell a home with you to bring them into your database, which is just an email list, right? Permission to stay in touch with their contact information. How do you grow it?
Well, people that do business with you, obviously you have a relationship with them, and then you have their contact information, and they're part of your database. But other people that I might meet just randomly or something that I want their contact info, I tell them, hey, I do some videos. I'd like to put you on my email list. If you don't like it, feel free to unsubscribe. If you like it, feel free to share it with your friends. Is that okay if I put you on, I add you to my database? I'd love for you to take a look at my videos and let me know what you think.
Wonderful. And then how many people, let me ask this question. In a given week, how many people do you speak with about real estate? Whether it's prospecting, lead follow-up, meeting people out and about. How many real estate conversations do you have a week?
My goal is 50.
50 conversations.
50 conversations.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: of 50 people that
it doesn't always happen.
Sure.
But that's my goal is 50, is 10 a day, 5 days a week conversations.
Got it.
That's my going goal, unless I'm on vacation or something.
Fair enough. What percentage of those people say, yeah, man, here's my email address. Put me on your stuff. I'm interested in staying in touch.
Well, this could be somebody who I already have communication with. It's just 50 conversations about, when you were talking about real estate, it's just 50 conversations, period. Whether it's somebody I might have, already know and I'm already working with, or somebody I don't know.
Yeah. I think an insight here for the audience is that, you need to have lots of conversations with people, and you proactively spend a lot of time trying to get people on the phone, right, Kevin?
That's it. Yeah. It's a phone game.
It's a phone game.
Yeah.
All right. I get it. Let me rephrase the question this way. How many new people would you say you add to your database a week?
Probably 3 to 10 a week.
3 to 10?
Yeah.
Got it. And this is all just over the phone, talking to people saying, or in person saying, can I get your contact information and can we stay in touch?
Well, it's just somebody that I connect with for whatever reason. In a given day, we all connect with so many people that it just, the conversation, all you got to do is bring up a little something about real estate, and the other person will change the conversation to real estate. I don't have to really go there.
They get it.
Right? It just, people like real estate, so they actually will, like, if you just mention one little thing about it, they'll actually take the conversation there, and then that opens you up to be able to, ask them. And it could be somebody. It could be the person that you called in to talk to about your telephone bill or something.
The person at the cable company that you call to change your cable. Hey, you want to stay in touch?
Yeah.
Here's what I want the audience to see here is, let's just call it you add 5 people a week to your database, which would be 20 people a month. Or let's just say 240 people a year. When I hear databases, I hear these big numbers like, oh, I have thousands and thousands of people. It's just not true. You said you had a sphere, or you hold legitimate relationships that could be called sphere or centers of influence with about 400 people. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah, it's like 300 and I think it's 362.
So you know exactly. So you really do keep this.
I look at it every day. Yeah.
Good.
I drop some off and some add in. You know what I mean? I'm proactively messing with it all the time.
I want
Yeah.
everyone to understand, like you're probably watching this if you're a newer agent or just kind of getting started, wanting to understand how to get some business. You hold relationships with 360 some people. If you put 360 some people in a room, that's a lot of people, Kevin.
Yeah.
Right. And the rule that you find statistically with the population and the number of homes traded a year, and considering like 90% of agents of buyers and sellers find their clients by referral, 10% of your legitimate database, so 10% of that 360 or whatever, should give you a deal a year. And you said last year you got how many deals from your database? About 20, 25, 20?
Probably in the 25 range, something like that. Yeah.
Yep. So we're not quite there. So there's a few things we can do to maybe improve communication, because I would like to see about 36 deals from your database.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So have you heard the 10% rule before?
I've heard the 20% rule.
That's high.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, the point is you should be getting more business from your database is the takeaway there, right?
Right. So it's either three. Yeah. So if we look at it, we got, so there's 362 people, or how many households? It might be like, I think well, I did a mailing last week. I sent out 240 letters.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 200, maybe 360 people, but then some of those are spouses of the other person.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
240 households
yeah.
in my database. And if that's correct, then I'm right on the 10%, pretty much.
So tell me this.
If I'm going off of households instead of individuals.
There's lots of different philosophies of selling real estate. I mean, you could have just bought all the phone numbers in Austin, pound out 700 calls a day. You could fork over all your money over to Zillow, right? You could give it all to Google for pay-per-click ads. You know the drill. There's lots of different methods.
Yeah.
But you said you look at a very close list of relationships, about 360 people every day. That was an interesting insight. Most people don't do that, let alone have a list that segmented of their top people. Tell me more about your philosophy, and what do you mean by you look at your list of 360 some people every single day?
Well, because I try to write at least one personal note to somebody every single day. And so I don't know who that is. I tried to systematize it and have my database tell me who I needed to write a note to based on coming up in time and stuff like that, and it didn't work. And so I really have to do it by feel now. And I just look at it in the morning. I go through and I just kind of scan through my list of names in my database and it's like, hey, I haven't talked to that person in a while. I wonder what's going on with them. I write them a personal note.
So what's the note? What do you say?
Hey, I we haven't talked in a little while. I'm gonna, I hope you're doing well. I'd love to catch up with you sometime. I'm gonna drop you a call when I have a little bit of free time.
Because usually for business, I mean, that's it.
That's it. Nope. It's just a note.
Does it have your logo on it that you're in real estate, or?
Nope. It doesn't have. It is the cards that I buy are from the half price books. Generic cards. Sometimes it has a beach on it. Sometimes it has whatever. And I just write them a note, sign it. Handwritten address, handwritten return address. No business card. Just a note.
Got it.
In fact, one of the cards I have says just a note on it.
So would you say when you add someone to your database, these 360 some people, this is that 3 to 10 people a week, or is that a separate list?
No. That's a separate list.
So tell me about that list.
Okay, that list it's marketing. It's people that I'm marketing to. People that I want to stay in front of, but I don't necessarily have a relationship with.
So it's just kind of like anybody that just gives you their email address. Let's put them on the viral plan. But then you have like your A's, which is a much higher quality list.
Right.
That's your 360. So what qualifies somebody to be on your list that they get looked at every day and get your notes and whatnot?
Engagement.
What do you mean engagement?
They engage with me in communication. They respond if I send them an email or a text message or, I know what's going on with them. We have we have a conversation every once in a while, or they've done business with me at some point in the last few years.
Got it. So when you work this list of, well, let's talk about these two lists. You have your, let's call it your email list and your database. Your email list is just like every email you got from someone that wants to stay in touch, right?
Yep.
And then let's call your database your real relationships that 300 to 400 people.
Right.
What are you doing to stay in touch with your email list beyond the core viral marketing program of publishing 2 helpful videos a month to them every month?
So they get those videos, and then they also get like a newsletter, email with stats and updates.
So 3 emails a month.
Yeah, 3 emails a month.
What else?
And then a postcard. Well, if I have their address, they get a postcard.
And how many people do you have in your email list?
I don't know. It's a lot. 1,200 maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. 1,500.
Sure. Great. 12 to 1,500 people in your email list. And
Megan could tell me how many people are on my email list.
And how do people end up on your email list? Obviously, from conversations you have with people, that's like a one-off conversation. You ask permission to stay in touch. How does that email list grow? How do you get more people?
Sometimes it's an inquiry from one of my listings. Could be on a website. Then I have an exchange with that person. I add them to my list. You never know. They might turn into business. To me, if they gave me their email address and communication inquiring about a property, that's good enough for me to say they engaged in.
Got it.
In wanting communication.
And then tell the audience one more time what the criteria is to take someone, let's say, from your email list into your inner circle of 300 to 400.
Well, they would do a transaction with me, or these are people that I think would either possibly refer me to somebody, would most likely do a transaction with me or continue to do a transaction with me, or they're also my close friends and family.
Got it. So you've been in real estate a long time, man. 2006, you've seen a lot. You've seen it go up. You saw it go down.
Yeah.
And you're probably no stranger to all the different ways of running your real estate business. Lots of different ways.
Lots of different stuff.
Yeah. So tell me why you doubled down after all this knowledge and all these years on this approach, and contrast it to the pros and cons of the other approaches you tried or that you've seen other agents try to get business.
Because it works. If you do it, it actually works. I mean, people do pay attention, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything super special. The video, most of the people that are your core group, they want to hear from you anyway. But if you can demonstrate your knowledge on video, you'll have people pay attention to it. And just like what we were talking about with your videos, I don't watch every single one of your videos, but I catch one every once in a while and I'll watch the video and I get something out of it. I'd probably get some more out of it if I went back and watched every single one of your videos, but I don't have that
time.
Kind of
Time.
Yeah. And I know people don't watch all of my videos.
No, they just pick one
but
here.
Every once in a while, it comes across and they watch it. And then I'm there. I'm top of mind. They remember. That's
Did you ever think like no one's going to care about my videos, no one's going to watch these, this is never going to get me business? Did you ever think that in the beginning? Turn your speakers down just a bit. Turn your speakers.
Of course, yeah. Of course, that thought did cross my mind, but I did actually have. I mean, I have a new construction deal that's closing in December. That was from somebody that found one of my videos that I had never talked to before. I had no idea who they were, and it was a video on doing on the homestead exemption. First time home buyer, had questions about the homestead exemption because they were looking around, and they just happened to Google that, and I guess they just happened to run across my blog watched my video, reached out to me, and within a week we were in contract on a new construction house.
Nice.
300,000.
Nice.
So that paid for my viral subscription for the next 3 years.
That's great. Well, good, man. I'm glad to hear those. I'm glad to hear that success story. All right. So it just sounds to me like you just make an effort to speak to lots of people and ask to stay in touch. And that's compounded for you over time to get a lot of your business by referral.
Yes.
For the audience, how much money a year do you spend on marketing or acquiring business? It can't be
I don't
much.
spend a lot.
No,
actually.
you don't.
I don't spend a lot of money. I don't spend money on
Probably
Zillow.
under $1 grand a month. I don't know.
On all the people that call to try to suck money out of us real estate agents, right?
Every day. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't spend. I don't know. Maybe. Well, okay. So I send postcards. Most of it is spent on my database. The postcards are expensive.
So you send a monthly postcard out to the 1,100, 1,200 email list that you have mailing addresses for.
Everybody I have a mailing address.
How much does that cost? What's the cost for your all in a month for the postcards?
Probably 300, something like that. 350. Okay.
And then how big is the postcard? Do you have one in your office? Do you have one?
It's a 5x7 postcard.
Do you have an example in your office?
Yeah, actually.
Grab it. Show it to the camera. Show it to the audience. So 5x7. I'm curious to see what you send your database, because it's not about the neighborhood, because they're all over the place. Does that make sense? So it's not like a just listed postcard or just sold postcard or here's your neighborhood market stats. I mean, these are people all over Austin, but probably a lot of them are even outside Austin,
Yeah, let me see.
Mm-hmm. So 300 there, then you're in what, 550 a month with viral. I mean, you're in under $1,000 a month. Does that sound about right, Kevin?
Yeah.
So if everyone caught that, Kevin spends about $12,000 a year to make about $300,000. Not bad, Kevin.
Okay. So
I would also say your quality of life is a lot better than chasing
postcard. This is the postcard.
I want you to hold up to the camera and just hold it real steady so we can get focused, okay?
So this was the postcard that I was sending out when I was with Realty Austin. So this one's a discount.
Closer.
This one I'm not sending out anymore because it has different information on it. But it's a similar.
Got it. We'll see the back.
It's a similar postcard. Right.
See the other side? I see the other side. Got it. Okay.
And this is something that that's going out. This is a new one. It's a little booklet that'll go out in the place of that once a quarter. It just has stuff that's going on in Austin.
Cool.
It's a little. It doesn't really matter what the mailing piece is.
It's just something.
Because I know that they take it and they go, "Oh, there's Kevin's postcard. Throw it in the trash," right? But I'm okay with that. It's that they got pinged with something. I'm top of mind.
Yeah.
To them. They don't forget, because I know I ran across this and I had to tell my friend this. He owns a lawn company, and I needed a lawn done on this house in Round Rock, and immediately went to Craigslist, started looking around, found a lawn guy, texted this lawn guy, and then that evening I was like, wait a second, Philip owns a lawn company. So I was like, but Philip hadn't done anything to stay in touch with me on that. I happened to remember it. So then I switched up and I called Philip and I was like, hey, I need you to take care.
So even the people, so here's the deal. You hear these voices, we're like, hey, these people know who I am. And if they need to buy or sell a home, they'll remember to call me.
They won't. That's the thing. You got to stay in front of them enough so that they're reminded that you're there and that you're an expert.
That's good. Okay. So again, I said this while you were getting that postcard, about 12 grand a year is what you spend on marketing.
Yeah.
You know, tell me about what's important here. I'll ask this last question and then we're going to move on to what you do to make your videos and other things. But you obviously have a very specific philosophy of keeping it very targeted, keeping it extremely profitable.
Yeah.
You know, you're making well over 6 figures a year. Tell me about the quality of life that this approach to your business gives you over, let's say, and there's nothing wrong with this, but like running a call center or being a very like outbound prospector or doing lots of internet lead generation, which are some of the other pillars that are possible for you, but you didn't really double down on those. You doubled down on this pillar. Tell me about the benefits of this approach.
The the conversion rate is significantly higher on people that know and like and trust you or are recommended to you from somebody else, or that reach out to you because they're like, I'm going to Kevin because Kevin is the expert. I know he's the expert. I don't even need to talk to anybody else. So I literally have spent, like this year, I bought a house at the coast. It got hit by the hurricane. I've probably spent 3 months in Port Aransas out of this year. And I've still done quite a bit of.
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty happy. You know? You're not burning the candle on both ends, and things are going well.
Exactly. So you can. I mean, I probably could boost myself to 25 million, but I'm happy. I'm like, I don't know. I'm in this happy zone of 10 to 12 million, working 20 to 30 hours a week, and taking 3 to 4 weeks of vacation a year.
Nice.
I like that. And picking up my kids after school most of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the beauty of working your business this way. It's a good life choice. Yeah. Cool, man. All right. We align a lot on that. Anyways, so let's move on. Let's talk about the content you create. How do you come up with a great topic that people actually want to watch and engage with?
It's tricky. Coming up with content is probably one of the most difficult things. Lucky for me, I do a lot of investment property and rehabs and stuff like that. People are really interested in watching a property, doing work on a property and changing it and then getting it ready to sell and then bringing it up. So I do a lot in the field with properties that I'm working on.
Like flips?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like everyone has a flipping show now.
Right. So a lot of people like to watch that. So I'll usually toggle it back and forth. So I'll go and I'll do something in the field that's really interesting or fun. And then I'll do one in the office that's a little more serious, like 1031 exchanges. Right? And so I'll show some expertise on that. Then I'll do something that's fun that people like to watch or corny. And then I'll do something serious. And I'll kind of toggle it back and forth.
Cool, man. What's your YouTube channel? I know I put a link to it in the blog post. If you're watching this on the blog, where can someone just go to find your YouTube channel? What do they search on YouTube? Your name?
Yeah, just my name.
Fair enough.
Or if they go to my blog, adayinrealestate.com, then the YouTube channel link is there.
So what equipment do you use for your videos?
This is probably about to get replaced because it's starting to fail. But I use this a lot. This Sony Handycam, the HD Handycam. I use a lavalier mic setup.
Nice.
For if I'm long distance, I can set up the camera, and my assistant can operate the camera, and he can hear what I say to hear if things sound good, but nobody can hear him because of the way the mic operates. And it wasn't very expensive. I think it was like $60 or something on Amazon.
Yeah, nice.
Um,
So that camera is worth like what, $150, $200 for a handy cam like that?
that thing seriously is like 10 years old. I think I had some of my, when I started using it, I still had some of my daughter's newborn videos. Yeah. It's literally, it's about to be retired.
Hey, well, let me give you a tip for new one. Are you ready? Here.
Yeah.
This is the Canon PowerShot G7X. All right, and here's what's nice about this. You ready? Watch this. You turn this on, and it flips up at the screen. See that?
That's pretty sweet.
You can record yourself and do selfie yourself really well, and you can look right at the camera, which is nice.
That's
all right.
Cool.
A little expensive. It's about $650, but it is top notch and super portable. And then for your audio,
$650 is decent for something that'll last 10 years.
It'll last you this last. It's super portable. And then the other thing, there's no audio input on this. Like the audio on the camera is fine, but if you want better audio, just take your phone and get like the Rode Smart Lav or get a lav mic that goes into your cell phone, and just use the audio recorder on your cell phone. So lav yourself up, record it in your cell phone, and then you have your camera, and then send us the audio file, the MP3 that your phone records, and then send us the video file, and then we'll sync it in editing, and we'll match the audio in editing, and that's how we'll get really good audio really cheaply. That makes it simple.
Okay.
Sound good? And that way, I mean, you don't have to worry about the wireless. You can be 100 feet away from the camera, and we can still match the audio. Right on. As long as it picks up some type of reference audio. So, yeah, time for a new camera. I was watching your videos. Like, your videos are great. But I was like, man, we can up the quality a bit, and let's get you a new one. All right. Now, for those of you, obviously Kevin's advanced. But for those of you just starting off, I recommend you start with a webcam. So the webcam that I'm using right now is about $60. It's the Logitech C920. It's a great webcam. All right, Logitech C920. That's what we recommend. That's what we ship you here at Viral. And then when it comes to audio, you can wear a headset. And here's the difference. Let me show you the difference. This is the audio through the webcam. Hear it, Kevin?
Yeah.
And then this is the audio through my headset. This is about a $20 headset. Or if you want really good audio, you guys have probably seen like podcasters use this, but you can have something like this that takes up all the frame. And you can have audio like this. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's
actually your headset sounds better.
Does it really? Oh, I thought this was all cool. Testing 1, 2. How does that sound?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But I'm just showing you got a couple microphone options. But here's the deal: you have to have a good computer, Kevin, if you want to record HD video through the Logitech, as well as get your sound to match at the same speed. So we don't actually ship you a when you're a client, we give you a webcam. It's part of your build fee. But we actually don't send you a microphone that you plug in your computer because people have sync issues because their computer can't keep up.
Yeah.
So what we do is we actually ship them a lav mic. We actually ship you a lav mic and an audio recorder. So when you come to record your video on your webcam, you put the lav mic on and you record the audio right in your audio recorder, and then you record to your hard drive on the webcam and send them both in. We edit it, and you still can sound great. That's how we do it. All right. So you mentioned
I've done several of my videos were shot on the iPhone too.
Yeah, iPhones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't forget your phone's just fine too.
Yeah.
So I think what's key here is people need to get over, what equipment do I use? It's not rocket science. Just start with what you have, and it's just fine. Just use your phone. And then maybe at some point you can upgrade to something like this or a nice webcam, but you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on video equipment.
Yeah.
You can use a 10-year-old camera. It still gets results, right, Kevin?
It still does, yep.
So you asked me on the Hangout today that you wanted to do a better job on partner videos, business videos, community videos, and creating more viral content. What do you mean by that?
So I think I want to do more with helping other small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, in reaching out and helping them and doing other things that help the other small businesses, I mean, it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
Nothing happens overnight, but those business, I mean, they're another small business, like like we are.
Cool.
Um,
Let me show you an example.
what's that?
I'm going to show you an example here.
Okay.
So Kyle Whistle is one of the top real estate agents here in San Diego. We work with him. And what he does is, here's some of his videos. He does a market update, as you can see. Here's the San Diego real estate market updates. But he decided, obviously you can interview small businesses, but what he went to is he started just going and interviewing restaurants and eating at restaurants and creating like a video about eating at a restaurant. So check some of this out. It's just Kyle walking around town, walking in and eating, like kind of like a food TV. Isn't that crazy?
I like it. Yeah.
Right? So, he does millions and millions of dollars of business, and his shows aren't even about real estate. It's just about him being out in the community, being a proponent of the community and giving a voice to people that may not have one on social media. And that's the attitude I think you should take. You can go literally to any business and show up the camera and say, "Hey man, can I walk around and just tell the story about your business?" And it's really about you thinking of yourself as a journalist, of how could you become a better journalist of what's going on in your community and publishing that content. And that will bring you a lot of attention. It's very interesting. And what do you think about that?
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Are you a member of the Austin Chamber of Commerce?
I was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do, because when you join the Chamber of Commerce, they give you a list of all the other members. And the Chamber of Commerce contact is basically the person probably who's the owner, which is not as easy to find in most businesses. Right. And you can say you're a fellow commerce member and say, "Hey man, I'm a realtor and I want to make a free video about your business and send it to everyone I know. Can I come on out?" And they're all going to say, "Sure." Right. And it's really cool content to send out. I just think the attitude is that you want to be a journalist of your area. And I covered, again, just a tip. I think it was my viral marketing show. Let's see if I can find it here. I'll share my screen for the audience. But I think it was episode 26. Yes, 26. On episode 26, I talk about how to hire a video journalist. So I bet you could find somebody to help you package these stories for not too much money from University of Texas or something, to help you cover stuff in the community for your videos. And you can watch that show and it teaches you how to do that. I give you a whole job ad to find a journalist to help you out on contract.
And there's a lot of content there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a whole TV show there, man. I mean, especially with your flipping houses, that could be super interesting.
Yeah.
Right? So, what else? What else do you want to get better at? Because, there's about 10, 15 more deals sitting in that database. Are you doing any client events or any appreciation events where you actually get to meet all these people in person?
I tried that a couple of times, and I did have people come out to I've done 3, and I haven't quite figured out how to do it right. Mm-hmm. To where the other people engage with each other, and I'm not strung thin amongst the, trying to catch up with each person one-on-one. So part of what I thought about doing next year was several much smaller, more intimate ones that I invited, certain people to, and kept it a little bit smaller and more intimate, and just did it more instead of one big event, to where, because I was pulled so thin, and it was completely unenjoyable for me to try to make it happen, and get a chance to visit with everybody. And it was difficult. It's difficult to pull that off. So I haven't quite figured out the balance with that yet.
Okay. There's a interview I did with one of our clients, Scott Himmelstein. Himmelstein. He's in North LA, northern Los Angeles, in the Valley. And let me see if I can find that interview. Let me pull up here on the screen. There we go. If you go down here, Scott Himmelstein. He's really big into door knocking. So he knocks on like thousands of doors a month to try to find business in a niche farm. And one of his big things is his offer is to invite them to an event. And we actually go through a lot of the very interesting events that he holds. And that's how he gets a lot of his business. So if you watch that interview, I think you'll get some really good insights as far as events to hold. Sound good?
Okay.
Cool, man. So let's sum up for the audience here some key principles and to take away from this. And let's see if we can share some knowledge and summarize what we learned today. I think what's important is you're not sending canned content to your database that someone else wrote. You're creating your own content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
And you see the value in it because you pay us more or less, and you take the time to do it. Right.
Right. And I really like that there's somebody that bugs me about my video. Hey, we really need another video. It's coming to. It's time to do your. Did you get it uploaded? You know, is it time? It's time to do your video. It keeps me on track.
Good.
Because otherwise, I wouldn't do it in time. I wouldn't keep the pace. You know.
Well, one of the biggest challenges you said
very helpful.
One of the biggest challenges you said was coming up with topics as far as what to say on video. And if you go to our website under industries and you click real estate, you're going to see I made a little white paper of my recommended video topics, 24 of them. And if you click here, you can download it. And you can get the top performing 24 video topics for real estate around the website. Have you gotten a copy of that?
Yeah. No, I have that.
Good. Wonderful. Yep. And those are all search optimized because that's what people are typing online likely when they're looking to find someone to help them sell their home. Just publish them with those topics, those titles. Use the title and description I gave you, and you're golden.
I think the homestead exemption was one of them, right?
Good. That was a popular video for you.
Yeah. Well,
good.
Yeah. That was the one that got me that deal.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Great. They found you online, right?
They found me online.
Well,
yes.
Kevin, there you go. I gave you SEO search optimized video topics, and you got business from the white paper. So everyone watching this real estate, go get it. Right? Yeah. Kevin, you're an implementer. I like you. The frequency, 3 times a month you communicate with your list at least. 4 times. You have a monthly postcard, you have a monthly newsletter, and then you have the 2 videos a month. People would say, Kevin, you communicate with your database 48 times a year? That's ridiculous. It's actually more if you add in probably them seeing you on social media as well as the notes you send. So you're probably
the birthday cards.
Yeah. So they're getting it well over 50 touches a year.
Right.
Kevin, that sounds ridiculous. Is it?
It's not ridiculous, though. I mean, it does sound ridiculous. I mean, yeah, when you say it 48 times you're touching somebody in 12 months, you know, it seems like a lot, but it's really not. It's effective.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know, to me, it's not too much.
And what's interesting is you look at your list of, 360 some top contacts every single day, and what percentage of your time a week is spent looking for new business or thinking about or working, how do I get my next deal?
Probably,
yeah. How much?
I'm pretty much working on business that comes my way most of the time. No.
Yeah. So you get to kind of sit back a little bit and just service the business that's coming your way from your database, right?
Right.
So you're not grinding out much trying to find new business. You're doing things, but I wouldn't call it a grind, right?
Right. It's the simple things. It's the way you market your listings. You occasionally get a lead. I mean, you got to get some leads because some people in your database fall out.
Yeah.
Some people become realtors. I've had that happen numerous times.
Yeah.
They go out and try it. Yeah. I've had, some people's, their aunts, cousins, uncles, whatever, becomes a realtor. You're not the top spot anymore in their mind. If something was to happen, you're not their go-to. And without directly asking, I try to kind of get a feel for if I'm still that person when I communicate with them.
I think another key thing is the 2 lists. You have your email list as well as your A-list list of your 300, 400 people.
Right. So I have my complete database. That's everyone. Anybody, leads, database, et cetera. All those people get the email marketing stuff.
Mhm.
And then the database gets the very specific things.
Mhm.
Birthday cards, specific mailings, the specific letter, not the postcard that goes out to whoever, anybody I have an address for, right? But actually a stuffed, handwritten, or hand addressed letter. And I don't do that. My assistant does that. I create the letter, and then they print it out, hand address everything. They spend 3 or 4 days putting it all together and putting it in the mail, right?
Yeah,
So,
I almost want to retitle this hangout or this interview, how you spend 12 grand a year to earn a little bit, 300,000 a year in earnings. You work what, 25, 30 hours a week, plenty of vacation time.
yeah.
You get to enjoy the people you work with. They're nice to you.
Yep.
Kevin, it sounds like a good life,
It is.
right? Your camera equipment was very simple. You're using a camera that was like 10 years old. You didn't overthink the type of video equipment that you need to use. And even though some people may say your videos are amateurish, they work and they bring you business, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. What else? Any other key takeaways you can give for the audience today to sum up what they learned?
Like I said earlier, just jump out and just do. I mean, just do it. Is the real takeaway. Start playing with video. Start trying to do it, because you know what? If you completely fumble it up, somebody's going to comment on it. But they saw you, and if they saw you and let you know you fumbled, then it's then they care.
Yep, they do care. So Kevin,
it's funny. I've had people comment on different things in my videos, or I see people. I go places all the time now where I'll run into somebody, and they'll say, "Hey," they'll bring up something about one of my videos that they saw.
That sparks a conversation to see if they can get a referral or someone might know who wants to buy or sell their home.
Exactly. It just sparks a conversation.
Yeah.
And not necessarily that they even clicked through or did anything. They just watched a video. And a lot of those lists, I like the list that you guys send after.
The open and click report. I actually forgot to get to that.
Yes.
You actually get the names of all the people that engage with your videos, so you can use that for your prioritizing your phone call follow-up.
Yeah. So the leads report that you guys send, I can scan through that, and about 75% of it, I know exactly what's going on with every single one of those people. So what I do is I scan through that. I know. Oh, that person I need to reach out to, because it's somebody, maybe that I hadn't talked to in 2 or 3 years that watched my video. I've got a reason to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you see that video? I don't ask them, hey, I noticed you watched my video. But I'll reach out and ask them, hey, I sent this video out. Did you get a chance to look at it? Oh, yeah, I did see that one. I know they saw it because they clicked on the report, right? But it gives me an engagement with them that
absolutely positions you as the expert, knows who already knows you, so you're not dealing with strangers. You're the invited guest, not the pest. How about that?
Right.
All right. I think one last really good key takeaway here is that how you got over a lot of your fears of just like, oh, no one's going to watch my videos. This is going to start working. Like, it works. The simplest stuff. At the end of the day, you chose this strategy because it works. And it's consistent. It's profitable. And it's foundational. It's foundational. Is that even a word? But you're not held hostage by lead providers. Like, you own your own leads.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Yep. All right, Kevin. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Frank.
For those of you watching, if you want to get a copy of Kevin's video marketing plan, you can go to the homepage of our website, getviral.com, download the official video marketing plan. I also shared on there, if you go to if you're a real estate agent, go to the real estate agent page on our industries tab, and you can actually get the 24 topics we recommend. One of the ones that Kevin published and got a deal from someone magically finding him online. How nice is that? From a YouTube video, right?
Yeah.
And if you like what you see and you like to hire us to do all this for you, you can certainly do that. You can go request a free strategy session on our website, and we'll talk to you. Our sales team is not on commission. We'll have a conversation with you about what it would like to work together, and you can hire us. And if you don't get results and you're not happy working with us for any reason, the first 30 days, we'll give you all your money back. You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we get you on camera, feel out how it works, and make sure you like working with us to see if this makes sense. So go to our website, check it out. Kevin, thank you so much for your time today. We will end the interview right there.